Good morning, good day, good afternoon, or good night, wherever time this catches. This is David Boston coming to you from upstate New York. This is the second video blog number 2 in a series on my 90-day blitz. Yes, I'm doing a 90-day blitz where I'm focusing on my business, perfecting my craft, growing in many different ways. In this video, what I really want to talk about real briefly, just tell you a little bit about my background so you get to know me better, know where I come from, and so you understand my plight. And then hopefully if it's similar to what you've been through or what you're going through, not necessarily exact same incidents or characteristics or situations, but if your mindset is the same, or if you want to change your mindset, we invite you to join with me on this quest as we go through this 90-day blitz. This is video number 2 or blog 2 on the 90-day blitz. And what I want to talk about was just I want you to get to know me a little bit. And, of course, anything I say is going to become a little biased because I like me. But I just want to take a few minutes to let you know my background and where I've come from. First of all, I born in Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. I grew up, then moved very quickly to about 2 or 3 to upstate New York, Syracuse, New York, where my father is a minister of the gospel in the African Methodist Episcopal Church. I grew up there, and then in the AME Church, we moved around a little bit. He did it because he had to find a job besides his ministering to support his family of 5 children. So we found ourselves back probably from 63 to about 70, 71 in Syracuse. And moving from Syracuse, we moved to Long Island, a place called Wyandanch, believe it or not, where predominantly minority neighborhood in Wyandanch, where I was initiated in Wyandanch. I was in the 6th grade at the time, and I was got beat up by 4 guys, just because I was new. But eventually I got all of them back one by one. They were stronger when they're together, but individually they couldn't match, because I just determined to get them. So I was a pretty good guy in school, got good grades and all that kind of stuff. Then a couple years later, we moved from Wyandanch, which is in Suffolk County. Father got moved to another church, and we now found ourselves in Glen Cove. There I graduated from Glen Cove High School, played varsity football, bowling, played a little basketball, ran a little track, served in student government. So I was a pretty decent student. Wasn't the best student. I didn't really apply myself as much as I could, but it was drilled in me. Go to high school, go to college, so that was drilled in me. Even though I did real good on all the aptitude tests, I went to a public school and public college in the state of Arkansas, and because I was born there, they classified me as in-state. So my tuition back then, check this out, $230 a semester. I know that's unheard of now. Well, finally, after about in the senior year in college, I accepted the call to the ministry, so I started preaching my senior year. Still played football, but didn't do as many things because of my ministerial aspirations and training to be a minister. Finally went to college. After 2 years at the University of Arkansas, I got a call that they needed a pastor upstate New York in Utica. So I went to Utica. Now listen to this. I went to Utica College, and at Utica College I didn't know anybody. Had a church that basically I found out why nobody went, because they couldn't find anybody else to supply that church. Because when I got there, here's what I found out: that they had about a structure that sat about 700 people, but only had about 13 members. And out of 13 members, 9 were senior citizens on fixed income, and they were still upset with some of the things that happened before I got there, with ministries, with the church and all that kind of stuff. So they weren't a lot of help to me, but I did with what I could. We had a big building, had no heat in the wintertime, and if you know upstate New York, winters can be brutal. I remember I had to get up at 6 in the morning to go to the church to fire up 2 kerosene heaters in a smaller room, so by 11 o'clock service it would be warm in there so we can have service. Now, A lot of times it was still so cold that underneath my robe I had my overcoat. So that's what I went through. Had no transportation at the time, no car. Eventually, one of the officers of the church gave me an old Buick station wagon that got me around from place to place. So I was thankful for that. Spent a few years there, grew a lot, developed a radio ministry where I just played music on Sunday morning at the local college. Then got, after being filled with the Holy Spirit, I started a Bible study on campus on Friday nights, and that went really well. And then as the church began to grow, I was supposedly given a promotion. They moved me from Utica to Lackawanna, New York. And Lackawanna, New York was a little suburb of Buffalo, south of Buffalo, right on the snow belt. And for the time I was there, I got snowed in twice. But after I realized that the position I was in, God was taking me in another direction, I actually moved back in with my mom for a little while, worked for a lawyer rehabbing some of his properties, then eventually landed a job with JCPenney in management. And when I landed a job in JCPenney in entry-level management, man, after moving in with a friend for a few months, got my own place, and loved the retail industry. Didn't like the hours, but loved what it did, loved servicing the people. I loved the order of the clothing and keeping things in order and keeping track of everything. That kind of stuck with me. I guess my days with ROTC or junior ROTC in high school, where I served as the commander, just kind of rubbed off. I liked everything neat and everything, but I finally realized there's politics and everything, and as I decided, well, it was time for me to go and to really do what I was called to do, supposedly. But while I was there with JCPenney, hired in Albany, New York, but then got transferred to one of my first assignments. My training store was in West Farms Mall in Hartford, Connecticut, West Hartford, Connecticut. Had a fabulous time. I really enjoyed working for JCPenney. JCPenney was very complete and thorough in their training. They sent me a couple of times to Atlanta for even more in-depth training. I loved it. I thought the whole organization, as far as training, was top-notch. Then I got transferred. Got my first big assignment was upstate New York in Glens Falls, near Lake George, at Aviation Mall. And as I went to Aviation Mall, I did extremely well. I was managing the kids department, loved it. We had nice gains while I was there, but I came to realize that I need to be doing what I was called to do. So finally I left there and went to graduate school for theology. But while I was in West Farms Mall, man, I realized that after all the taxes were taken out of a single man, after the car note was paid, after the rent was paid, or back then my car note was more expensive than my rent in my one-bedroom apartment, found out I didn't have money to lunch every day, so to buy lunch every day. So I had to just rethink my finances. Man, back then, this was a long time ago, I think back in '86, the salary was $18,500 a year to start, and I thought I was rich, making over what I thought was $1,000 a month, but I didn't count in taxes and other things. But when I left there, I was making, left JCPenney as a department manager, I was making about twice that much. But I realized that after everything was gone, all the bills were paid, I didn't have any money left to do anything. And I said, man, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. Then one of the people that I've encountered told me about, he called it leveraged income, more commonly known to most of you as the Amway Corporation. Unfortunately, I never joined the Amway Corporation, but I followed it, and I followed some of the leaders and followed what they were doing. Like one that stands out was a guy by the name of Bill Britt. And I just love the way he recently passed this year. I love the way he did things. I loved how he presented things. I love how he intermingled the Word of God with his business. And so he made God his business partner, which, I believe for me, that's the way to go. For me, being a Christian and a minister of the gospel, how can I not have God in my business? Or how can I not be a part of a business that doesn't let God in or doesn't give God his rightful place? So therefore, that's one of the reasons why I'm involved in the Power Network, because it allows each individual to be themselves. So after I matriculated, after I left West Farms Mall and went up to upstate New York in Aviation Mall, I realized that I needed to go and finish my education as far as biblical education because of some of the things that I was learning. And so I went to, I matriculated. One day I saw this guy on television, never seen a guy before, teaching the word like he was teaching, and everything he's saying was true. His name was Dr. Fred Price. So after a while I matriculated, I moved out, sold everything I had or gave it away except my car and the clothes that I had, and I moved to Los Angeles to pursue advanced education in the area of, for lack of a better word, a Bible school. So Crenshaw Christian Center had a ministries training institute that I was there for 3 years, graduated in 1991, learned a lot of valuable lessons, met a lot of valuable people. Then in 1991 I got married to my wife Wendy, who I met 10 years earlier in college at Utica College of Syracuse University in Utica, New York. And then she moved out. She moved out back to California, and we spent 3 years there. But I got the bug that there had to be a better way. And even though I didn't join Amway, first network marketing company I think I joined was with Pat Robinson of the 700 Club, and it was American Benefits Plus. Pat Robinson's American Benefits Plus. And I loved it. I liked what he was doing. So Christian based. So I just loved it. Jumped in there, I put both feet in, but I didn't tell my wife at first, because when we got married, she was very traditional, get a job, get a job, get a job. And I had been through the job thing. I had been through the politics of a job. I had been through all the 9 to 5. I've been through retail, not having a life, especially during the holidays, no weekends, all working all kind of hours. I've been through all that. I was tired. I knew there had to be a better way. So I became a member of American Benefits Plus and got so good where I was eventually made my way to trainer. And I remember one weekend I was training for them, doing training sessions, came home with a $3,000 check because of training I did. And from that point forward, never had any problem with my wife or convincing my wife that there's a better way than quote unquote a 9 to 5. Simply put, a 9 to 5 is just you're building someone else's dream. You're building someone else's dream, period. Now, leverage marketing you may need more initiative, but you got to get retrained, because our school system has trained us to be industrial slaves. Even though we're living in the information age, most of our kids are still learning in the industrial model. So I made it my business, as part of my ministry, as part of my business, to show people, one, how to solve the money problem. That's the major problem that most people have, and that's my theme, how to solve the money problem. If you go to my website, solvethemoneyproblem.com, solvethemoneyproblem.com, what I found out is that once people learn how to solve their money problem, meaning that they have more income than outgo going in. Because listen to this, if your outgo exceeds your income, then your upkeep becomes your downfall. Let me say that again. If your outgo exceeds your income, then your upkeep becomes your downfall. If you're so worried, in essence, if you're so worried about the lights being paid and the mortgage or the rent being paid and the car note and the insurance and all that stuff, that's all your mind focuses on. All your mind can focus on until you get those questions answered. After that, then you can step into, or begin to step into, the real reason why you're being here. I don't believe that you're here by accident. I believe you're here by design. I believe you're listening to this because you're really supposed to be working with me or working with this organization to accomplish what God has ordained for you to do before the foundation of the world. And this tool called the Empower Network was put here to help you to do just that. I've seen transformation in the owners. I've seen them become even more supple and more pliable, and to even become more understanding of the human condition. So I'm excited that, and I've joined a lot of the a good number of other network marketing companies. Some I've made a lot of money. In essence, I've been financially independent, making $6,000 to $10,000 a month, sometimes $15,000 a month. I've been then supported by those companies. Some of them have gone out of business, One owner, two owners, matter of fact, were put in jail because of some things that they were doing. I'm not saying that they were guilty, but that's how it was. One of the guys that I really honor today, he's in jail today, not because, in my opinion, anything he's done wrong, but he had a program called Life Without Debt. His name is Jim Phipps, and we were going to talk about the Jim Phipps Project. A man that would give you his shirt off his back, and he literally did give me his shirt off his back. He was just been a blessing to me and my family, who really had a heart to serve people. And he was a Christian statesman whose love for people didn't want to see them in debt. So he developed systems by which we can help each other recycle after-tax dollars to help each other get out of debt, not rely on a credit card. And he told the truth about credit, debt, money, and taxes. Then I joined a program called the Association of Individual Ministries, which is awesome. Then CMI. And those two founders, Concept Marketing International, was a program that taught the truth about some things, some aspects about the Internal Revenue Service, and that I really enjoyed learning about. But I enjoyed learning about what real money was, tangible assets. So it has been an eye-opening and eye-waking experience for me, but also been through some stuff. I've been through moving numerous times, having a wife and 5 children to support, being on the brink of, I could have declared bankruptcy a few times, but I chose not to. You name it, I've qualified. At one time, we had 2 investment properties in Florida, plus a house that we were living in upstate New York. That's how good it was going. I purchased a 700 series BMW, basically just wrote a check for it at one time. But we went from that, that's how fast some things can change. We went from that all the way down to qualifying for everything, if I wanted to, that social services had to offer. Now we're working our way back up. To be totally transparent with you, in the last 5-6 years have been a challenge financially, but through the grace of God we made it, and we're on our way back up, only because of the leverage that the Empower Network gives us. And as you continue to follow me or work with me or listen to me as I go through this 90-day blitz, I will start to unfold some of those things. This is video 2 of our 90-day blitz. Just wanted to give you an introduction and who am I? What's my purpose? What am I here for? To help you solve your money problem. And the only way you're going to do to solve your money problem is to find a way to make more money than you need to live. And once that problem is solved, then you can focus on, what are you really here for? What is your purpose in life? Has God put you here for? I don't think, as I said earlier, I don't think anybody's here by accident, but I think it's by design. You're listening to this because it's been preordained before the foundation of the world that I should go through what I've been through in order for you to do what God has called you to do. All right. So I expect to have a lot of information for you. I expect maybe in the next video I'll go over what my intentions are for these 90 days, and how will I know when I accomplish those intentions. So with that, remember my slogan is always good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. Remember Ephesians 3:20, God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you ask or think, according to the power that works in you. So in the name of Jesus, you got to work the power. So with that in mind, thanks for listening. We'll see you on our next blog, and I hope you stay with us through this 90 days. We'll be reporting what's going on, as we have a lot of intentions, from getting a house better organized, to losing weight, to eating right, to making money through our Empower Network business, to helping other people make money through the Empower Network business, to have an army. We got a secret weapon coming out. We've got some new tools that I have come across that I'll be more than happy to give you access to once I have them and know that they're working to make you money. So some bonuses, niche ad generator, and some email blaster, because I'm finding out that through this program, as I said in the earlier video, that is about collecting emails, and it's about building a list if you're going to matriculate from the belly to belly, face to face, on offline marketing to online marketing. So with that in mind, We'll talk to you later, and we'll see you on our next video.